What's up, Machiavellians? Welcome back to the show. I've missed you guys. Hope you're being safe during this pandemic and staying your tails inside. This week we have an interesting topic. What's your toxic trait and how are you correcting it? Stay tuned. What behaviors do you think of when you hear the word toxic trait? For me, those are behaviors that can cause harm to yourself or somebody else. It can be mental, physical, emotional, anything. You just never know how your toxic trait can affect the next person. So we'll just talk more about toxic traits, and I'll give you some examples and even talk about my little toxic trait myself. So let's get into it. We can actually self-sabotage ourselves with our own toxic traits. Sometimes we are aware of them and sometimes we aren't. We can actually ruin friendships, relationships, business opportunities, just lose people in our lives because of our toxic traits if we aren't aware of them. It's hard to kind of figure out you have a toxic trait if you're just so used to living with this behavior, and it takes something drastic to happen for you to actually say, hey, something may be wrong, let me try to figure out what's going on. So self-awareness is very important to, basically figure out your toxic trait. So here's a short list of some toxic traits that I actually found. Blaming others, negativity, being judgmental, and being judgmental could be a good and bad thing, but if you're always judging others, it's the same as blaming others. If you never look internally at yourself and always point the finger at the other party, that to me is a toxic trait. A few others are emotional blackmail. You're never apologizing to the other person. And one major one, you never take responsibility for anything that happens in your life. You're always looking for an excuse to get out of something, or just an excuse to say, this is why this happened or why I'm behaving this way. So again, you just have to be self-aware and know that you have a toxic trait and how to fix that and move on with your life and just be a better person. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all in on what my toxic trait is. My toxic trait is overthinking. I know you guys may think, well, that's not really a toxic trait, but it really can be. If you're always thinking negatively about any situation and overthinking everything and always thinking the worst of situations, that is a negative trait because you're always going to, doubt yourself, doubt others, don't trust people. You're not going to think you deserve positivity in your life because you're always going to be overthinking things, and negativity is just going to overtake you. And again, you can push people away, lose job opportunities, lose family, friendships, or whatever. So for me, overthinking, I have really been trying to work on it. I've talked to myself a lot and say, okay, Candace, you're overthinking this, go ahead and calm down. And I try to start thinking of things in a positive light, because my friends be having to tell me, well, since you're not going to think about this in a positive light, I'm going to go ahead and do it for you. So most of my text messages be like, okay, y'all, I get it. So I'm aware of it, so I'm actually working on it now. So again, toxic traits can really take you down that bad path you don't want to be on. Okay, guys, so how do you fix your toxic trait? For me, the first step in fixing your toxic trait is to identify that you do have a toxic trait, where it being just, taking a step back and thinking to yourself, okay, I'm pushing people away too much, I'm losing opportunities, something must be wrong. So again, you have to be self-aware of these traits. A lot of us live not knowing that we have a toxic trait. We're just thinking, okay, I'm just having a bad day, or I'm having an attitude, or this person don't like me, I don't like this person, but it can actually be a toxic trait. So again, the first step to fixing a toxic trait is to identify that you do have a toxic trait. And you also have to take ownership of that trait. You can't push it on other people and blame the other person. You have to take ownership of it. That's the only way to get over anything in life. Once you take ownership, you know how to move forward. Another thing is to get an outside opinion of how to better yourself, and make sure you be consistent, because if you're not consistent, you're not going to fix that trait and be a better person. There are so many traits we can consider as toxic. It takes self-awareness and you wanting to change to actually get rid of them. So in the comments below, list your toxic traits and how you can work on becoming a better version of you. And in a future episode, I will go through and read your comments, and we can have another discussion on this topic. Thank you for tuning in this week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. And also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Cavell Show. See you guys next week.